Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here, and the patch notes are here. 25.2.2, the big Hearthstone balance patch. There's lots of balance changes to Standard, there's a whole bunch of balance changes to Battlegrounds, and there's also a whole bunch of balance changes to Duels, so let's take a look at what the patch notes say. Patch 25.2.2 is a data-only patch, means that you don't have to wait for app stores to update. This will also be available on mobile immediately, launching today. So by the time I manage to encode this video, that might already be out. Launching today, coming really soon. That includes updates to Standard, Battlegrounds, Duels, and more. Hearthstone updates. Developer comment. In general, our recent patch cadence has been faster than it has been in the past. This can make it more painful when updates are a little slower, such as around the holiday break period. We're discussing as a team how to make the patch schedule work a little better for future holiday periods. And just a friendly reminder that in 2020 and in 2021 they had no problems with the cadence. They were perfectly able to get the patch done early in January. So it's something that they, as an institution, have just forgotten. But maybe they will relearn. Anyway, this is the first patch after the new March of the Lich King expansion, where we have enough data to make significant and informed buffs to the new cards. Now that we have seen where the set's archetypes landed on a power basis, we know we can safely inject a bit of power. Alright, then, the changes. The following cards are being adjusted to be less powerful, that means nerfs. Wild Pawn Null. New Rush costs 1 less for each non-rogue class card you've added to your hand. That's intriguing. They are breaking the Concoction Null synergy. They're not touching the Null mana cost or stat line. They're breaking the whole Maestra synergy, in fact. I mean, the first thing I thought about was Potion Belt, because usually you're always Maestra, of course, and then you get those rogue cards, and then you do Potion Belt so that you can then get that free Null on 2. But the whole Maestra stuff is gone. Maestra is gone. Maestra is dead. There's no refund for Maestra. Ah, that's intriguing. Anyway, dual class cards and Rogue and another class will not reduce the cost of Null either. Okay. So, yeah, that definitely means that Rogue cannot just contest aggro decks with a sudden board on turn 2 anymore. That just won't happen. So aggro decks can actually kill Rogue. Sinstone Graveyard. New summon a 1/1 ghost has +1/+1 for each other card you played this turn. So the ghost is losing stealth. Losing stealth is the main suggestion that Reddit has had the whole time. Please make it lose stealth. And yeah, now the ghost can be attacked. So many classes cannot handle the ghost because previously only a couple of classes had a good way to handle a huge stealth minion. But now all classes can pretty much handle it. Okay. Developer comment. We recognize that Rogue has been a little too good at higher ranks. The change to the Null Maestra interaction is a major change to a class intended to substantially shake up how it looks and plays, while the Sinstone Graveyard change gives opponents more of a chance to respond to the big Rogue pop-off turns. Yeah, definitely Maestra Rogue is gone. Wow. And it might not be the only thing that's gone. Final Showdown, the first phase of the Demon Hunter questline. Old, draw 4 cards in 1 turn. New, draw 6 cards in 1 turn. Six cards. Okay, like, if this was later in the questline, that would make no difference. But the first step, the very first step, you don't have any of those discounts yet. And you need to draw 6 cards to activate it. I mean, doesn't that just kill questline Demon Hunter? I think it kills it. Drawing 6 cards is so insanely hard. 5 extra cards, I mean, you draw 1 at the start of the turn, of course. Drawing 5 on top of that. You can't do that very early, so yeah, that's a big one. And Sinful Brand. Old 1 mana, new 2 mana. Rend an enemy minion whenever it takes damage, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Dev comment. Demon Hunter has been one of the best performing classes at high levels of play, so these changes are intended to adjust its power. Sinful Brand was chosen as a card to target because it punishes opponents for simply playing the game. We don't like being too powerful or prevalent. Alright. Rogue killable by aggro. Demon Hunter much slower and weaker. Okay. Shockspitter. New 4 mana 3/3. Hunter is top class at most parts of the ladder. When we changed Shockspitter to 3 mana in patch 25.0.3, we expected it to remain powerful after the change and debated whether we should just change it to 4 at the time. We decided that we didn't want to hit Hunter too hard all at once. Now that we've seen how the card performs at 3 mana, we think it can use another nudge, especially with the other top performance being adjusted down around it. I kind of expected after they said that they were going to adjust Shock Speeder. At first I thought, hey, isn't that just going to kill the deck? It's probably just going to kill the deck. But Hunter has a Modex, like Beast Hunter, so Hunter's fine. But Shock Speeder Hunter, Maestra Rogue, killable by aggro, Quest Demon Hunter gone, Shock Speeder Hunter gone. Alright, this is spicy. Glacial Advance. New deal 4 damage, your next spell this turn costs 1 less. Frost Death Knight is performing well right now, so we wanted to slightly shave some of its power to make sure it stays in line with the rest of the meta after the other changes this patch. This adjustment takes away a little bit of the deck's explosive burst from hand capabilities. Yeah, another burst nerf, nice. Then the one we have all been waiting for, Astalor. Astalor changes to all 3 phases. First one, from Mana Thirst 4 to Mana Thirst 5. I was kind of hoping for more, to be honest. The second phase, from Mana Thirst 7 to Mana Thirst 8. Okay, but you can just play this without the Mana Thirst if you like. You can still copy them with the Battle Cry, mana cost hasn't changed. And the final form, Astalor the Flamebringer, new Battle Cry deal 7, Mana Thirst deal 14 instead. 2 points of damage taken away. Developer comment, players seem to really enjoy the power and flexibility of Astalor. Just hold it right there. Players seem to really enjoy the power and flexibility of Astalor. So if you force everyone to play with a specific card because it's so good, that means that they enjoy that. I do not see the causal relationship here. This chain of causality does not work that way. Players do not enjoy the power and flexibility of Astalor. Players have to play with Astalor. At the same time, that power and flexibility has made Astalor near auto-include in almost every deck in the meta. Yeah, like enjoy, where do you get the enjoy part? Where you have the auto-include part. We're so close. We were so close to finding the logic here. These changes are designed to bring Astalor's power more in line with what we want from a neutral, general-purpose utility card like this. Is this what you want from a neutral, general-purpose utility card? I'm a little disappointed. I think Astalor could have been hit much harder. We still hope and expect that Astalor remains a powerful option for many decks so that players can continue to enjoy this card. Enjoy again. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. Ah! No. I don't. Yeah. Enjoyment and auto-include. There's no relationship between those. None. Anyway, the above craftable cards will be eligible for full dust refund for 2 weeks following patch 25.2.2. Don't refund your Astalor, by the way. But then we have buffs. The following cards are being adjusted to be more powerful. Battle for the Necromancer. At the end of your turn, raise a corpse as a 1/3 Resent Footman with Taunt. Necromancer was already like a mediocre card. It was a playable card with 1/3 Resent Footman. That sounds really good. The problem, of course, is that they are not touching any of the 1-drop undead, so you still don't have a good 1-drop, after which you can then play the Necromancer. So that's still the problem with Necromancer. Boneguard Commander, new Taunt Battlecry raise up to 6 corpses, 1/3 Resent Footman with Taunt. Okay, but why would you play Boneguard Commander anyway? And then Unholy Frenzy, new 2 mana. Okay, 1 mana would have been better, but maybe it's playable at 2. Blood and Unholy Death Knights are both still underperforming in Standard. Death Knight is difficult to balance because individual cards within the class tend to be very strong, but we found a couple of spots where we felt we could add a little bit of power to individual cards to make them more appealing. I don't think these Death Knight buffs are very impressive at all. Then Wither, from 2 mana to 1 mana, but that doesn't matter if there's no good undead to be played with Aggro Druid. Bonecaller from a 2/4 into a 2/5. Okay, minor buff. I guess it's okay. I mean, more health means that it takes longer to get those minions out of Bonecaller, and still low attack, so it still doesn't represent the threat itself, so that's a little awkward. Haunting Nightmare, please be recursive. New 4 attack 3 health. On the card in your hand when you play it, summon a 4/3 soldier. So it's actually still useless, right? Yeah, you're not going to replace any of the existing Undead Priest cards with this. No. If it was recurring, maybe, but no. High Cultist Basilisk from 5 mana to 4 mana. That's actually a pretty big deal, because the way Undead Priest functions is that you play a lot of those 3-cost minions, and now you can play a 3-cost minion into Basilisk the following turn. So, yeah, that's... It became just a lot more tempo, and it also got to keep the same stat line. That's a strong card now. Then we had Dark Andratir from 8 mana to 7 mana. Okay, a little bit better. And Infantry Reanimator from 6 mana to 5. Developer comment. Most undead aggro decks have been underperforming compared to what we were expecting. Yes, I have been telling you that since the game already, actually since the theory crafting live streams, I guess. Our changes here are to encourage exploration of those archetypes. We discussed potential changes to undead neutral cards, but opted to target the class cards this patch instead. Ouch. That's a painful one. But there's more buffs. There's 18 buffs here. Vengeful Valoper, 6 mana. Okay. Could be worth trying to explore Outcast Demon Hunter, but it's still going to be hard. Energy Shaper from a 4 mana 3/5 to a 3 mana 3/4. Casino Mage, but I don't guess that's viable still. Vast Wisdom from 3 mana to 2 mana. 2 mana to discover 2 spells that cost 3 or less and swap their cost. That's actually a pretty strong card. I mean, you can use that for resource generation in a lot of mage decks potentially. Time Warden from a 4 mana 3/5 into a 3 mana 3/4. Yeah, it really needed the mana cost decrease so that you can play it earlier and then you can swarm the board more with dragons. So yeah, that's nice. I don't really think it's like, hey, Dragon Paladin is now playable nice, but nice. Asphodon, the Grand Shield, from a 3/3 into a 3/4 with Taunt. Battlecry cast a copy of the last spell your opponent played. That's now actually, with that Taunt addition too, I didn't see the Taunt coming. I figured the health would come, but the Taunt too. Okay, that's now a really sweet card. Is it really, really sweet? Maybe not, but I mean, it can play multiple roles now, because you can also play it more for like tempo. Just copy some cheaper spell, because you will get the Taunt minion. You can play this in defensive game now more easily. Yeah, I do like it now. Disrupt the Spellbreaker from a 4/5 to a 4/6. Yeah, to be expected, so it's harder to remove. Yeah, nice. Last Stand from 4 mana to 1 mana. Manator 7, double its stats. Manator 7 just, that's way too slow. I thought they were going to actually buff this into a wing condition, but I don't think it is now. Nope, it just isn't. And Nellie's Pirate Ship. Death Rattle add Nellie's Pirate Crew to your hand, they cost 2 less. So they didn't become 1 cost like they used to be, but 2 less, okay. Nellie can definitely be used now, I think. Sounds good. Remonia, Living Blade, from 4/10 to 5/10. I was hoping it would get more health, because health has usually been Remonia's issue. But now maybe you just hit face it with it as a weapon in some cases. Developer comment. Warrior seems to be the class that needs the most help in the current meta, so we're giving them the most buffs here. With Last Stand, we wanted it to feel more impactful and flexible, and we have great new mechanic in Manators that gives us that kind of flexibility. This isn't the type of change that we normally do, but this was a good opportunity for us to make this card a little fresher and more interesting. Also making a few changes to some older exciting cards to provide the class that boost it needs. Okay. Yeah, adding Mana Thirst actually to a card that didn't have Mana Thirst, that is novel. I just think the implementation is such that the card is unplayable, but yeah, okay. I do like the idea, the concept, that they can add these new mechanics also like this. There's also a big bunch of Battlegrounds changes. I don't cover Battlegrounds in that much detail, although I do play it somewhat, but something that caught my eye definitely was the Eternal Night, the 3/1, and especially the Eternal Summoner, to summoning only one Eternal Knight, and if Eternal Summoner is picked as the first pick from Future side, you can no longer be offered a Reborn or Poisonous minion as the second option. So this Eternal Knight, Eternal Summoner stuff really getting nerfed. Also, pretty much all the other really powerful minions. Because they're hitting Soul Splitter into tier 5. They're hitting Magma Lock into tier 5. And Anubarak gives less buffs but is down to tier 4 now. That's actually intriguing because sometimes rolling that tier 4 might do something. Okay. Then there's a large number of duels updates, but I don't really play duels that much. But if you're into duels, well, they have changed a lot of stuff there. And finally, bug fixes and improvements. Fix the bug resulting in unintended changes to Apprentice. Text fixes to Dawn, Grasp and Guff. And fix the duels bug. So nothing really important in bug fixes and game improvements. But a lot of balance changes for Standard, for Battlegrounds, for duels. And nothing for Mercenaries. Painful. On the other hand, Mercenaries typically hasn't gotten much outside of the main patches. Like X.4 is the Mercenaries' big moment, and even other Mercenary changes typically have been like X.2, X.6. Not in these balance patches that much, but still nothing for Mercs this time. Also didn't even get an event with that new Arthas Merc. That's a little sad. But yeah. The Standard balance changes are of course the biggest thing here. Well, okay, Battlegrounds balance changes are also pretty big. But the Standard balance changes, they're reducing the lethality a lot. They're removing a lot of burst turns, a lot of swing turns. Some of the buffs were a little bit disappointing. The Astalor nerf was quite disappointing, but it's definitely going to be a very, very different meta from here. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.